Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
President Donald Trump recently landed in Salt Lake City, Utah, where he was set to announce plans for several national monuments. However, as he stepped off Air Force One and onto the tarmac, he looked over his shoulder and could hardly believe his eyes when he saw who was in the crowd waiting for him. Most of us on the right respect Donald Trump as our president, despite what the left is saying. He was elected for a reason, and regardless of whether the entire nation can agree on this simple fact, he is our leader and deserves respect for that reason alone. Unfortunately, it seems that Trump gets more criticism than praise in the media, so nothing could have prepared him for what he'd see over his shoulder as he stepped off of Air Force One. Not only was he welcomed by a huge crowd of his supporters, but they were wildly cheering for him as he made his way down the stairs. However, that alone wasn't the only reason Trump couldn't believe his eyes. In fact, there were two special Trump supporters standing in the crowd that were wearing something a bit different. They were dressed up as President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Supporters, dressed up as President Donald J. Trump and Vice President Mike Pence, looked on as the president arrived at Salt Lake City International Airport, SLC, Fox News reported, sharing an image to their Facebook page of the two young Trump supporters. These two kids clearly went above and beyond to show their support. Although they haven't been identified, they caught the eye of the president as well as many others. One of them was dressed as Trump, wearing his iconic hairdo and bronzed skin tone, while the other one was dressed as Vice President Mike Pence, and they looked great. Of course, Trump was thrilled with all of the support for him shown on the tarmac. After he greeted his supporters as a group, he continued walking to get a bit closer to his supporters. Then, he spent nearly 10 minutes greeting everyone personally, shaking hands, and thanking them for their support. There is one thing that President Trump always does that separates him from other politicians, namely, he always takes the time to personally greet Americans who have taken the time out of their day for him. He respects them and proves to them that he's grateful for their ongoing support. These two Trump supporters prove just how dedicated they are. Not only were they willing to spend part of their day welcoming Trump to Utah, but they proudly dressed themselves up as the leaders of our country. There aren't too many people who would be willing to go the extra mile to show just how much they admire the leaders of our nation. In fact, several people were impressed with what they did. Nice kids. One social media user wrote, while another said, "Fantastic. President Trump." Yes. One went on to add, "He even did a spray tan lol. Too funny. Glad to see young supporters." Of course, there were liberals who felt like negatively commenting on these kids, but the fact that they're insulting a pair of children only further proves how desperate and disgusting the left can be. Although the left will never admit it, this situation clearly indicates exactly why Donald Trump won the election over Hillary Clinton in the first place. Trump has always proven himself to be connected with the people of this country and only wants the best for them. As long as he has the nation's support, regardless as to what lies the mainstream media is spreading, he will be re-elected for a second term in 2020. A nation is only as strong as their leader, and Donald Trump has proven he's more than capable over the past year. Share the story and leave a comment by clicking one of the buttons below. Follow us on Facebook at Mad World News.